Well, this is why you see I've custom mats. So I'm going to say that. I've custom mats because this is concrete. Oh, okay. And so I've custom mats so that if you've got a kneel on here, stay there, furniture. If you have to go kneel on here, at least you've got a double thing and you can always triple it up, make it even softer. Always think about your knees. Once they go, everything else. So we're just going to sit and do a bit of breathing. But we're also doing some hand gestures as well. So with this, you're going to bring your one hand in front, say your right hand facing towards your chest, your left hand will be facing out, and you're going to breathe. Yeah. Now with this, you can relax with it. You're going to do some breathing. So you're going to breathe in through the nose. And as you breathe in through the nose, the hairs in the nose catch anything in the air. So it filters the air before it goes in. It warms it as it goes in. But it, then as you go down the back, there's tiny little hairs which catch anything that bypasses these big hairs and then gets into the throat, and then them ones get caught. Little the flu virus, cold viruses, pollen that can affect our lungs. That all gets caught here. Then it goes into the lungs, and hopefully again it's been filtered. But before it goes into the bloodstream, there's a natural antibiotic that our body produces, myelin. But it passes, that is on the just the lower part of the lungs, and before it goes in, it kills anything that gets in there. Unfortunately, if we breathe into the mouth, we find that it's cold air gets in, dry air gets in, and then any big pieces don't get caught here, they go down. And as they get caught here, they open up them hairs, then all the little things gets through. Then your body's got to deal with a lot more. And so then it ends up getting into the bloodstream. That's why we get colds, flus, coughs, viruses. They pass into the bloodstream. So the nose is always the best way. If you breathe out the nose, you can sit on the floor, sit on a chair. It's completely up to you, wherever you feel more comfortable. And then this, we're going to bring our hands together in this position and we're going to pull. So as we breathe in, we're going to sort of pull the arms slightly apart. And as we breathe out, we're going to let them relax. We're going to do that around 6 times. Then we're going to bring our hands and place them on our heart. Now, this is called the Ganesh hand mudra or heart hand gesture, whichever way makes you feel better. It works on the heart. So it helps with dealing with sadness, with grief and heaviness that holds our body, getting over hurdles, trying something new. But it also strengthens the heart. It also helps the heart to work better as well. But it opens and stretches the muscles across the heart. So I'm going to start some music. It's always nice. Now the brain tends to run away. It wants to go and do other stuff. And it will start off and it'll go, oh, later on I've got to go and do such and such. Tomorrow I'm doing this. Last week I was speaking to such and she made me angry. Oh, when I got angry, that's how I felt about such and such 2 years ago. And it jumps and you can't control it. And that's normal. What I want you to do is as you're breathing, I want you to count. So as you breathe out, I want you to count 1. And then I want you to count 2. And every time that brain starts to wander, just go, oh, done it again, and just bring it back. Just notice that it does it. Don't worry about it, but just notice it and then go back. And even if you thought lost it, or how many was I doing then, don't worry, just go back to number 1. I'll tell you when to move your hands to your heart so that you don't have to worry about that. I'll count that for you. So, it's always good to notice because now I've told you about it, now you know. We start with a breath out and bring our hands in line with our heart. And then we're breathing in and we're pulling apart. And breathing out and relaxing. We're going to place our hands over our heart. And again, we're just counting that breath as we breathe out. We're going to lift our arms up, breathing in, and then you're going to breathe out through the mouth. Let's do two. And then we're going to bring ourselves up to standing. We're starting with our neck stretches. Now, I always start with the top of the neck and then the base of the spine, so that we make sure that we work the whole of the spine area and all the areas around it. So this is diagonal stretch. You're going to bring your thumb, and you're placing your thumb around the base of your skull and bringing your hand in this position. And you're keeping the elbow back. So from there, I'll do the opposite side. So what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in, you're going to look up to your arm, your elbow, and then you're going to look down to your shoulder. So we're breathing in to look up, and we're breathing out to look down. Do 3 of these. And then bringing the head back to center, bringing it down. So with that, it stretches the shoulders, works the shoulders, but you'll also feel it working diagonally through the neck. And sometimes they'll forward backwards, but today we do that. And this one kind of works the forward backwards move and a twist and a side all at the same time. When you're feeling pulling not only your neck, but you're feeling pulling through your face, opening your ears and opening up the sinuses as well. So we're going to do it on the other side. So lifting the arm up. So again, breathing in to look up. And breathing out to go down. And bringing it back to center. And then taking the arms. So we're going to work through the side. So just grab some block. Let's bring the first one.
Yeah. There's different anything always tense. My jaw, my dentist said I need to like relax because my jaw just pain here, pain. Just like this.
Will help you to
feel.
And it's all starts here and it's there. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I like to do that one at the beginning, and we'll do it again at the end. Which it's like doing exercise for your mind.
Yeah,
that just helps you to. Just gives you different little ways of helping them to relax. Yeah. Not all will work. We do breathing exercises like at the minute, like the one hand gestures, and there's meditation, but all of them are different. And not all will suit everybody. You've got to find the one that's right for you. And one day something will go, I like that. Everything else will go, I like that. But you'll find one and it'll be like, yeah, that's the one. And you stick with that. What's this one called? They're different. I do breathing exercises. We're doing hand gestures, they're called mudras. And there's meditation. There's lots of different ways of relaxing. You've just got to find the one. So at the minute I'm just choosing the most simplest version, which is counting. That's a really nice one. But there's other ones. Counting, very good. So this is a diagonal move. So we're going to work, same thing. We're going into a forward bend, but it's a forward, a twist, and a side bend all at the same time. Now you can go straight down to the floor, and then you're coming back up, but you've got to think of your spine. So if you've got lower back problems, you want to try and keep that back nice and straight. If you've got blood pressure problems, you don't want to let your head drop, otherwise your blood pressure shoots up. You can use the chair, so you could bring it so that you're just coming to here and you're not going too far. And you can always bend them knees as well. And if you want to block, so maybe the chair's a bit too high, you could always have a block and just bring your hands down to the block and the block and the block. So you can go to different levels. It's wherever you want to go. We're going to do it twice. And I want you just to see how it feels every time we come out. Just notice it. If you want anything, you grab it. Like I said, yeah, with your back in my chair. Yeah, I'll do it with the chair first. So we're starting with our legs in line with our hips and we're turning our one foot out. Now we want to make sure that we're not letting that back foot roll over. We want to push it down so that it pulls that knee back, keeps the knee in position. But we're turning our hips around. From here, we're going to tuck our chin and we're bringing ourselves down. Now it can be down to the floor and you can bend the knees if you need to. And you're just letting yourself drop down. And we're going to hold this for 3 breaths. So we're going to breathe in and breathe out. Again, we're bending our knees, we're tucking our chin in, and we're rolling them. And then we're bringing our foot back. Now you can, if you want, move your chair over. So you can just lift your chair, bring it over that way. And then you're turning your foot out. So you're going to turn your body. So the one leg still facing forward, but you're pushing back, but you're twisting your hips. You're breathing out and you're going down. From here, wherever you want to be, you're just breathing. And then you're going to bend the knees, tuck the chin, and roll. And bring it back round. Now, hopefully you felt that pulling through your hamstrings and your lower back and your shoulders all at the same time. We'll do it one more time. So if you need to change chair, change your block. So again, we're tucking the chin, we're breathing out, we're going forward. We're taking our hands down. Again, bend the knees, tuck the chin, rolling back. Bringing the foot back round, and then we're going the other side. Turning the foot, turn the body, roll the foot back, breathe in, breathe out, take it down. Again, bend the knees, tuck the chin, roll. And bring it back. So now we've gone forward, we have to go backwards. So this is side knee position. We're turning our foot, we're placing one hand on our base of our spine, and we're placing the other hand on our head, but we're looking into the crook of our elbow. When we go back, it's our back that bends. We're not going back with our head. So our head doesn't move. Our head stays in and the chin is tucked backwards. As you tuck it back, it holds and works the muscles in the neck. And your elbow should be over your foot. So from here, we're tucking the chin in, looking into the crook of the elbow, pushing the hips forward and breathing in, taking the back. And now we're breathing in. We want to hold our breath with opposite way. With this hand on your back. So it's the same leg as there you go. Look over. And then we're going to breathe out, we're going to push our hips back and not bring our whole body back. Bring the foot in. So let's try the other side. I'm turning it foot out. Place the hand on the back, the hand on the head, tuck the chin back, push the hips forward, breathe in, take it back. Now there should be no strain on your neck. You should be able to have a conversation and there shouldn't be any problems on the neck. There'll be no pain in the back of the neck because that chin's pulled into the muscles of work. Again, we're going to push the hips back and bring it back. Bring the hands in. So you should have found it a little bit harder to breathe, but you should be able to kind of breathe in different areas of the lungs. But it opens up the rib cage so that the lungs have more room to move. So we'll do it one more time. Now you can keep your hand here, or you can let your hand go. If you let your hand go, gravity will take over and push you backwards. So just be aware and ready for that. I'm going to stay here with you. So other hand on your back. That's it. That's it. So same hand, same foot. Push the hip. Breathe in. Push the hips back. Lift the toe, bring it down. Challenge. Again, hand on the head. Tuck the chin in, push the hip forward, breathe. breathe in, reaching back, and then breathe. Again, push the hips back, bring it back, take it back. So now we've got to give the spine a bit of a wiggle. So this one is caterpillar. You're going to take your feet slightly wider. From here, you're tilting your hips back. You're going to stick your hips back, so as if the water's going to drop out. And you're pulling your shoulders back and looking up. Then you're going to bring your chest down to the floor. And when you get to the floor, you're going to tilt the hips under and then let the body roll up. As you get to here, you tilt the hips back. The shoulders and the chest comes back. You're going down. You're tilting under and you're coming all the way back. So it's one continuous movement and it just kind of wiggles the spine a little bit. Okay? We breathe out on the way down, we breathe in on the way up. So from here, tilt the hips, look up, breathe out, go down. Tilt the hips under, let the shoulders roll forward, breathe in, lift up. You can take the arms out, breathe in, and breathe out. Breathing in, breathe out. Do two more. And last one. Bringing it back to the center. And as well as feeling through the spine, you should have felt it through the chest, through the lower upper back, and through the lower back, the hips, the knees. So we're going to work our hips again a bit more. So we're keeping them legs nice and loose. We're going to bring one hip round in a circle, back to the center. Then we're going to take it around to the other side, to the center. We're drawing a big circle with our ball. And we're drawing another circle to the other side. We're kind of doing a figure of eight. Going around and around. Now this, because we sit, we kind of push down into this area here. So the area between our ribs and our hips gets squished all day. And when you're going around and stretching one, you're working the other. We're just going around in a half circle, round in a half circle. And then breathe. Now that's here. I'm going to take you a little bit further down, a little bit deeper, and into our pelvic floor. Now, most people are told to do their pelvic floor. They're not always told how to do a pelvic floor exercise, or they're shown on the floor, lying on the floor, lifting your bum up in the air, doing weird things. They're all pelvic lifts. So what they do is when you're lying on the floor and you lift, you have to do this exercise to do it. You just don't realize you're doing it. We're going to do it without standing down. So you can do this anywhere, standing up, sitting down in the back on the bus, waiting for the light to turn green in the traffic. Just put it into neutral and take that, put the handbrake when you're going to do it. So the first bit is our back area. Now, there is only one way that I can describe this, but you'll know as soon as you do it what to do. You have to imagine that you want to stop yourself from breaking wind. There's a little muscle. Now, as you pull it in, it should pull in, but you shouldn't feel your pump going tight. It should be up there, and you'll feel the muscle going. Yeah. So that's your first bit. So locate that muscle. And I want you just to pull it in. You can let it go, pull it in, let it go, pull it in, let it go, pull it in, let it go. Or you can just pull it in and hold it. Okay. So then I'm going to get you to let go. Now we're going to locate the next muscle, which is at the front. And again, there is only one way to describe it. Imagine you want to stop yourself from having a wee. And there's another little muscle. And again, you can pull it in and let it go, pull it in and let it go, pull it in and let it go. Or just pull it in and hold it. But it shouldn't be the same one as the back, and you shouldn't be squeezing your butt. It should just be that muscle there, stopping you from having it. So let it go. Then you've got your abdominals. Now that's this muscle here. Now as you blow out, you're going to pull it backwards. And then you're going to hold it. You can, if you want, let it go, pull it in. So again, you can do the same thing, or you can just pull it in and hold it. But when you hold it, you should be able to breathe. It shouldn't be that. It should be that this is your stomach, your abdominals, and then your lungs are here, and they're completely different. So they work together. So as you pull in, you're pushing the bottom part of your lungs up, so your diaphragm is lifted. So you can't breathe here. Because you're pulling that diaphragm in. But you can breathe here. And still hold that stomach in. But you shouldn't be pulling here or here. That should all be relaxed. 3 different muscles. But now we're going to work all them 3 muscles together. They are brilliant, and they are the basis. Now, we're not told about that area of our body at all, ever. We're told, they tell you when you're having a baby, go into your pelvic floor. But again, like I said, they don't really tell you what the pelvic floor is. They just tell you to go and do it. Or they say, lie on the floor and lift your butt. These are a structure inside us. They sit like this, like it's like a webbing. So it kind of goes like that, it's all weaved together. It is in the bottom of our floor. As we get older, and especially with menopause, they start to weaken. And so instead of being tight together like this, they start to have tiny little holes in. Now, every time you cough or sneeze, we get a lot of leakage. And that's because as you cough, it goes and it opens. What it should do is as you cough, it should contract. And that's what it does when we're young. As we cough, we contract and hold all that muscle in. And we sneeze, it all pulls in. But as it goes the opposite way, as we get older, kind of, it still contracts, but it opens before it contracts. And that's that where that wee comes out. But as well as that, the more important thing is that the weight of our uterus and our womb starts to push down. And so you may have heard of prolapsed wombs, and that's because the womb, which should be here, then starts to do this and drops. And then as you sneeze, it gets crushed. And so sometimes you'll get like a shooting pain into the groin. And it's usually because that's dropped and it's pinched it and then it's kind of pulled itself back. But it will eventually start to, it's not looked after. So they're the most important muscles in our body, yet we never do anything for them. And like I said, you can do them anywhere. You can do them lying in bed, you can do them sitting down, standing up, at a bus stop. You only wait for the kettle to boil. Any point in your life, you can do this. And if you do 10 seconds, 10 times a day, it's the equivalent of doing 100 sit-ups without actually moving anywhere. And they don't have to be done after one after another. You can get stars, these little things that you give children when they're really good. If you put them in a corner of your door, anywhere at work, at home, nobody will see that star but you will. And every time you see that star, you can just stop and be checking your watch, checking the clock, checking this thing on your phone, at the same time doing your pelvic floor exercise. So we're going to do it all together. We're going to imagine that we're going to stop ourselves from breaking wind and hold it. Then we're going to imagine that we want to stop ourselves from having a wee and hold it. And then we're going to pull our belly in and hold it. Now hold it 10 seconds. And breathe. That's the most important thing to breathe. And relax. Let everything go. The relaxing is also important. It's just as important as holding it up. We're going to do that again. We're going to do 5 of these. So again, at the back, and at the front, and at the belly, and hold. And relax. Let's do it again. At the back, at the front, at the belly, and hold. Relax. A 4th one, at the back, at the front, at the belly. And relax. And the last one, at the back, at the front, and at the belly. So we'll take it into the hips and we'll work the hips. Now, if you need to, you can have a chair or you can hold a wall for the balance. Now you can have your hand there, you can have your foot on the floor, and you're going to kind of move it through 3 points. So you move it forward, you move it to the side, and you move it back. You're bringing it out, back, and forward. Out, back, and forward. Now you can keep your foot on the floor, or you can lift it up and bring it this way. So out, back, and forward. If you need to, hold your chair, but have the chair on the leg that you're standing on. That way you don't whack the chair with your leg. And this just moves the hip. It takes the hip around in like a circle without going like that with your leg. And then we're going to bring it down. And we're going to change sides. If you need to, you can move your chair over. And you can hold onto the chair. And again, it can be a forward, a back, a side. Forward, back. So from here, out and back. So side, back, forward. And last one. Bring it down. So we're going to stretch our hamstrings. You're having your knees in line with each other, and you're going to step 1 foot forward, and you're just reaching your hands forward and reaching out. You're then going to come back up, step that foot back, and then step the other foot out. You're pushing your bum back and you're reaching your arms forward. You're coming back up, stepping it back, step the other foot forward, push forward, drop the bum, bringing it back, slide it out, push back. And we'll do one more on each side. Step forward, push the bum. Push the bum back. Sorry. You need to hold that chair, have that chair. And as you go forward, you've just got there for your support. So always have it if you need it. Have it by you if you need it. If you saw you're a bit wobbly, just grab hold of it and have the chair. Yeah, stretch that leg. So bringing it back. Now we're going into spider. Let me show you spider first, and then I will show you the adaptions of spider. So spider, you bring your hands down and place them by the feet, and then you're kind of moving backwards and forwards in this position. So don't worry if you can't get there. You can do it with a chair. So you can have your hands on the chair, take your legs apart, and do the same thing. So if you don't want to get all the way down, you can just go to the chair as well. So everybody's down. So you're just moving side to side, and you'll feel this stretching the inner thighs and the inner knees. So we're going to hold it on one side and see if you can turn your foot away from you. And you'll feel that stretch the back of the neck. But like I said, if you need to do it on a chair, you can be up on a chair as well. So we're bringing it over, we're turning the foot out on the other side and stretching from there. Bring it in, turn the feet in, bend the knees, drop the head, and roll up. Bring the feet in. From here, you're going to, again, if you need to, you can always have the chair so that you don't fall over. You're just going to lift your heels and up to your toes. Lift your heels and up to your toes. Lift your heels and up to your toes. Like I said, if you need to, you've got that there. As we get older, the lifting of our feet tends to grow. Oh wow.
So it's a bit of things in my shoes.
A good one for working the bridge of your foot is to get something, get anything. While you're at home, sit on the settee. See if you can do that. And as you do that, as you do that, you'll see that it kind of works the muscle and lifts your finger. You're just doing that. And it can be anything, you don't even need anything, you can just kind of do that really. What you're trying to do eventually is this part of your foot and this part, without using your toes, is to pull it back. And that shows that your muscles in your foot having to work in that arch, lifting back up. The arch is the reason, the arch is the reason we lose our balance. Because if you've got no arch in your foot, what tends to happen is that.
Yes, that's one way to think like that.
Well, it throws your little second toe should run in line with the bone in the front of your leg. Yeah.
They like almost like pushed over, like you want to do
Push
that.
them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything fell in. It's taken everything out. So your knees are in the wrong position, your hips, then your shoulders, that's when you've got back problems. It all stems right from the feet. And yet, like I said, a lot of people will do their nails and prune their hands. They don't really take much notice of our foot. And yet they are really important, so important. They knock everything out. So when you're at home, do keep trying to do that as much as you can to encourage that lift, because bridges are support. Everything in life, you've got a bridge is stronger. When the bridge starts to go, that's when everything starts to get weaker. And then it's the same, it works on the feet. So we're going to bring it into sun salutation. We'll turn this on. This gets a bit warm. So what we've done there is we've warmed up all the joints and the major muscles. Now we're going to get the body nice and hot. Once we get the body hot, we can start to stretch them a little bit more. Now, this is sun salutation. There are lots and lots of different versions of sun salutation. It just depends on the version that you can do. So, because I know you can't do much weight bearing, when we go back, we tend to go back into a down dog. Now, this probably wouldn't be too much for you, but this probably would, and so would this. So what I would get you to do from here is to step and come up and push back. Because you're doing the same thing, but just without putting the weight on your hands. Now you can do it from the floor as well. So from the floor, it'd be forward, back, over, down, up, and back in. So it's the same thing on the floor, but we can do it on the chair as well, which means that you have to be bringing the floor up. And that's all we've done. Just change where the floor is to bring it up. So I'm going to do the first one with you so that we'll go into it, the main part, but then I'll take it into from plank and cobra. You'll do mountain and bowing mountain. And then the second time, I'll take it down onto the knees. And if we want to do it from the knees, we can do it from there. And then we do it 4 times. You can stay where I put you at the first one. Okay? So you wouldn't follow us because, like I said, it would put too much pressure on your hands. So we're going to start at the front of our mat. Or if we're standing in front of a chair, we make sure that our chair is on the mat. That way, if we push on it, it won't fly away on us. But we've got to make sure that our knees don't touch, so we want to come back a little bit. We're going to do a mountain. Now, mountain starts at the feet. So we're going to do the whole build up from the feet. I'm going to get you to try and grip the floor so that you're encouraging your bridges to lift. Now you're going to imagine that you're squeezing your legs together, but they're not going anywhere, but you're going to engage this muscle here. Then you're going to try and squeeze your bum muscle and squeeze your side muscle. Then you're going to bring in that pelvic floor, so at the back and the front, and then the abdominals and hold them in, but breathe. Bring the shoulders round and down. Tuck the chin in, and then if you want, bring the hands together, and you're pushing the fingers together and the outside edge of the hand so that you're making a bridge with your fingers and a bridge with your hands. So you're still putting a bit of pressure on your hands. Yeah. As much pressure as you can put on, pressing them that. So if you can, you close your eyes. But if you close your eyes, you start wobbling, then just look forward. Now we're going to take 5 breaths, and I want you to think only about you. Can't think about anybody else. Yeah. Can't think about anybody else. You can only think about you. You can ask for anything in the universe that you want, but it can't be for world peace. It can't be for your children or grandchildren. It can't be for anybody. It only be, what do you So we'll start at the front of our mat. If we breathe in and lift our arms up, and then we're going to breathe out and go forward. And we're going into a forward bend. Now, it doesn't matter if you're going forward and your hands are up to the floor, that's okay. Or your hands are on the chair, that's all right. Because it's starting to stretch your back, and that's good. So from here, you're going to bend your knees and bring yourself to a half bend. You're going to lift your bum up towards the ceiling, and you're bringing yourself to about here. You're doing that. So lifting your hands up off the floor and coming up to a half bend. As if I'm going to put a tray on your back. So you want to pull your shoulders, instead of being here, try and pull your shoulders back and push your chest down and stick your bum up in the air. There we go, much straighter back. And that keeps a nice straight back. Now we're going to go all the way back down to the floor again. So if you want, you can bring your hands all the way down, bend your knees, or take your hands to the air. We're going to step back with our right foot. And then we're going to push forward with our knee. And this is stretching our psoas. We're taking the other foot back into down dog. And we're pushing our chest towards the floor and sticking our bum up in the air. So if you're on the floor, you're trying to push back. Come over. You stay there, stay there, stay there. And you're just pushing back that way. And you're pushing your heels. No. You're staying exactly where you are. Now, from here, you're going to go forward over to your hands, but we're going to drop our hands and come up. And then you're going to drop down your knees, and you're going to push back and look up into cobra. So we're going back from here. We're coming back like that. Then we're coming back down, and we're bringing our hands back. And then we're lifting back up into down dog. We're going to lift our left foot up in the air. And we're swinging it through and placing it on the floor. We're then going to bring the other foot in and drop the body down. And then we're bending the knees and we're bringing ourselves back up to stand. So one more, again, I'll stay with you. So we're going down to a full bend. We'll come up to a half bend. We're going to breathe out, go down and step back with our left foot. Push forward and then step back and bring it down. You're coming up onto your tiptoes and you're moving forward into plank. We're going to come up. And they're going to drop into cobra and we're going to reach back. We're breathing out and we're pushing back to down dog. You're lifting the right leg up and stepping it forward. Then we're bringing the other foot in. Bending the knees and lifting up. So you're going to stay right there, exactly what we've just been doing. Everybody else can say coming down. So we're then going back down. So the same thing. Instead of the chair, you're going to sit down. We're going to lift to that half bend. We're going back down. Step back with the right foot. And then back with the left foot to down. We're coming up and over to plank. You could drop the knees if you wanted. Bend the elbows and reach up to cobra. You're going to stand up and go backwards. Stand up straight and then reach back. So that's it. We're coming back down, coming back, and then up to down dog. We're coming back to down dog on the chair. That's it. We're lifting our left foot up, and we're stepping it through. Now, if it doesn't go, you can always bring your foot up a little bit, and then you can step, and then lift it up. We'll do one more. Breathe out. Breathe into the heart. Breathe out, take it down, and step back with the left foot, and then back with the right. You're going to go into standing. We're coming to plank. So you're going standing up now. And then when we go down, you're going to push back and reach back slightly. Bringing it back, down, up. Lifting the right leg up. Swing it through. And bring it through. Bend the knee if you need to lift all the way up. And bring it down. Now, that is a key sequence. And when people go, oh, you can't really lose weight with yoga. Do a couple of those. You'll lose weight. It's not right. And like I said, I did it very slowly. I get a lot faster. There's lots of jumps and things in it.
On the chair.
Works every single muscle in the body. So everything works through that. But like I said, you can adapt it. So you can make it as hard as you want or as easy as you want. And you can put it where you want to. It's completely up to you. We're going to bring ourselves to the floor. So if you come down onto the floor. You okay getting that?
Yeah, just get it up.
Get it back up. I'll be there for you. I'll show you how to get back up as well. Always keep the chair closed. Chairs, they will come in handy. Getting how to get back up. So with this, we're going to work our abdominals and also our shoulders and our upper back and our chest. You're going to lie yourself down and you're bringing your arms up. Now you can have your hands flat down. You can have them up here, which is cactus. It's completely up to you. Put your heads down. You're going to bring your legs up and you're just bringing your knees to one side and then you're going to the other side. They don't have to go to the floor, but what you don't want is to bring your knees to the floor and your shoulders fly up the floor. You want to keep your shoulders flat down. So you're just going over and you're rocking side to side. But you're keeping the knees together. Try and keep the knees touching and the feet touching and just rock it. Doesn't have to be very far. It's just as far as your body feels it can go. Now, this is working your abdominals and your lower back at the same time. We're going to see if we can bring ourselves back to center. You're going to move, you can drop your leg down if you want to, so you can watch me. So you're going to bring yourself over, put that top leg, you're going to see if you can straighten it. Then you'll roll into the other side and you'll see if you can straighten it. You're just rocking and trying to straighten that top leg. Now, as well as working your stomach muscles, your abdominals, it's also massaging that lower spine as well. So again, if you're sitting, if you suffer with lower backache, this just massage. And then we're going to bring it back and bring our feet back. So if you bring yourself up to seat. Now, this one is going to be massage the spine side to side, the lower back. We're going to massage the whole of the spine. And it's also really good for your stomach muscles and your lower back as well. And again, it helps to just work that spine a bit. But it is quite funny. It is called seal. So there's different ways of doing it. For seal, you can bring your hands in so that your feet are here, or you can just stay here. Now with it, you're going to roll and come back. That's all you're going to do. Now maybe that you'll get to here and then it's like, whoop. Use your hands, push up. Okay, so you can use your hands if you need to, but it's about rolling backwards and forwards. And like I said, if you can grab your feet in like this, it's a little harder. You're rolling and you're coming back up. Oh, yeah, it's a lot harder. Much nicer to do it that way. So I'm going to stay in this position. So from here, we're going to do a back eight. You're going to breathe in and breathe out. No. Then from there, roll down. So you can roll back. Yeah. So have your hands down. Have your knees here. Just lean back and see if you can lift your legs. Yeah. Yeah. Now bring your legs down. Use your elbows and push back. There we go. And that's all I want you to do. It's just to see how many of them you can do. So you're just going back, lying back, bringing the legs down and pushing up. There you go. Now, everything you're doing, doesn't matter if you only do two. What you're saying, like you're saying, that you find it hard to get up and down. This is your stomach muscles that are getting you back up. So you're working on something. So it doesn't matter if everybody's going really fast. Yeah. You do, if everyone does 6, you do 3. Oh. Yeah, so you just do a little bit and do, but every time you're doing it, you'll feel it getting better and better and easier and easier. And it becomes easier. So we're going to do a couple more. So like I said, if you want, just roll yourself down, bring your legs in, bring your legs down, roll yourself. Oh, well. Now, if you really want it, you could bring it to the floor. But again, it's just wherever you are, the more you do it, your body starts to get used to it. And it gets easier and easier. But it's always nice, and I always think things that make you laugh is always better. Laughing is possibly the best thing you can do. It releases endorphins. So we're going to do a bit of a superstar. And again, you might not be able to do one part, but you'll be able to do the others. So with this, you're going to bring your leg in. You're going to reach your hand down. It doesn't matter if you don't touch the toe. You're then going to bring that hand. It comes behind your back. You're bringing the one to the front. You're leaning onto that leg. And you're lifting up. And then you're coming back down. So don't worry about the lifting. Just stay with this. So now if that hurts your leg, you can grab your block and just place it like that so that your leg has got something to reach on. And all I'm going to get you to do is just to do that. So you're going round and round and no more than that. Yeah. For us, we're reaching, we're bringing the one round and we're lifting. Now this lift opens the front of the chest and opens the hips. As we come round, we're now stretching our lower back. The same thing here when you're just turning, you're still doing the same thing. You're lifting, reaching around. And this is called baby superstar. So we're reaching and we're reaching. And we're going to do one more on this side. And bring it down. So we're swapping legs. So again, we're working them hips, but we're also working our shoulders and our arms at the same time. So we're putting the toe back, we're reaching round. And like I said, if you want, you could just go to here. Okay. So swing round, from there, so there. Now bring that hand around the back and bring this hand to here. And look over the shoulder. And then we're going to swing round. And then swing back. And swing round. And back. Now the lovely thing about all of this, so you can lift up, you can lift, you can lift. And all of them, they stretch. It doesn't matter which way you do it. It's stretching through your lower body as well. And you're starting to work and squidge your bowel, your small intestines. So you may go home tonight and things like that. And that's always good, but it's supposed to come out. Had a drink. And then bring it back in with your legs a little change. So we're coming up onto our all fours. Again, see how you feel with this. Like I was telling you here earlier, I always have a double mat because it's protects your knees. But if you find that it's still hurting, try this on here. And if this is still too much, then let me know and I'll show you an alternative. So we're bringing ourselves onto our hands and knees. Making sure that we've got our knees underneath there. So if that's too much, okay. This gets you into positions you're thinking, I've never got into this for a long time. So we're going to work again our waist. You're going to bring your hand onto your head. And you're just going to bring the elbow down towards the wrist. And then you're going up towards the ceiling. So we're going down and up and down and up. So we're going to take that down. We're going to change hands. So again onto the head. Bring it down and up. So we're stretching, we're putting a little bit of weight through the arms, but hopefully not too much, but if it's too much, let me know. And then bring it down. So we're going to take this a little bit higher into a threaded needle. You're going to lift the arm up in the air, and then you're going to thread it through. And then you're bringing it all the way up. Then this is stretching through the thoracic areas around where your rib cage. So helps with breathing. And that stretch through should feel like it's lifting your shoulder blade off your rib cage. And it just gives a little stretch there, especially if you carry a lot of stress in your shoulder. And then we're going to bring it up and bring it down. So we'll do the other side. So lifting up and through and up, and through. And bring the arms down. Now, the worst part of our body is this area here. So we're going to stretch that. You're going to bring your foot forward. If you need to, you can grab hold of your leg and bring it up. No, it's not going to go. No. Okay, so I'm going to get you to come down onto your back. You stay there, you ladies. You're going to stay here. You're going to pull one leg in towards you and then point your other toe. And then when you're ready, you can swap and point and pull. And as you do that, you'll feel it stretch there. So making sure you're stretching that. So for us here, we've got our foot there. We're going to push our hips forward and we're bringing our hands up and we're going to see if we can lift up into a crescent moon. And you'll feel this stretch and open up all at the front of the body. And then we're bringing it down. We're going to push back and we're going to change our legs. We're bringing it forward. We're pushing our leg forward. We're lifting up and reaching back. Bring it down. Let's change left one. Change one last time. You can do this one on the chair with you, but I'm not going to get you off the floor because I'm going to lose you on the chair. You'll stand on the floor. So bring it down. So for us, we're pushing back to child. And then I'm going to get you to roll down onto your belly. That's it, all the way down onto your belly. So we're going into a Sphinx and then maybe a Cobra if we feel like it. We will think about our shoulders. Now we're so busy that we're most of the time we're kind of here. With our head buried deep into our shoulders and kind of down here looking at something, you know, a book or something like that. So this really gets you out. You're going to have your elbows underneath. Now you're going to imagine that you're sliding your elbows backwards towards your hips. And as you do that, it'll kind of stick your chest forward. Then you want to lift your neck up and out and stick your chin up towards the ceiling. And keep pushing them elbows back, pushing that chest forward. This is Sphinx. So we're going to let our head drop. We're going to turn our elbows out. We're going to bring the top of our head down to the floor. And then we're going to also shake our bum as well. We tend to carry a little bit of tension in our bum. So you're just shaking your bum side to side. So again, if we bring our head up, bring our elbows underneath our shoulders, Slide our elbows back, lift our chin up and out, stick our chin up. Now with your hands, kind of imagine gripping the floor and see if you can lift your elbows off, but without lifting your shoulders. Yeah, that's the hard bit. So even if it's just a little bit, you're just lifting the elbows, and the minute you feel them go up, bring it back down. Even if you've got to stay here and stay in that push back, that's okay. And then we'll go into the everything, drop in, turn the arms, bring the head down. And from here, we're going to roll ourselves over onto our back. And we're going to bend on. So we're bringing our one foot up and we're seeing if we can place it, the heel on our leg. And then we're just letting our knee drop out. Now you can stay here doing this, and this is fine. It still works that out of 5. Or you can lift the other leg, pull it in, stick your hand through your leg and grab either your thigh or your shin and pull that leg into you. You can stay there. Right. This one just hits into that hip a little bit more. So we're going to bring that foot down and we're going to change it to the other side. Again, we can stay here and just flapping the foot like a butterfly, or bring it in, give it a little pulling towards the chest. Feeling it kick right to that top. And this is the great stretch if you suffer with sciatica. This is stretching your sciatic nerve. And any version of it. So this works your sciatic nerve. When we do this standing up on one leg, it's called tree. This position is called figure 4. So it just depends where you are. If you're sitting up and you're doing the 2 legs, it's called butterfly. Just depends on where you're doing it. So we're going to bring the legs down. We're going to keep the right leg up and we're going to take the left leg and place it flat down. We're bringing that right leg in towards our chest. And then we're putting our right hand on the floor. We're bringing that right leg over towards the left. We want to keep our right shoulder down. We're using our hand just as a little bit of a weight to pull over. That's it. You should feel this into your lower back, into your bum muscles. You should even go diagonally into your left shoulder. And then we're bringing it back. Going to bring that the right knee down, leg foot down, and bend the left. Straighten the right leg. Pull the left leg in towards the chest. Hold on to the left leg with your right hand and put your left hand on the floor. And then bring your left leg over the right, using your right hand as a little weight, just giving it a little bounce. Keep your left shoulder on the floor. And then bring it back. Now we're going to relax down. You can go into what we call corpse pose. So you can have your hands down here and your hands out there. Some people find that this hurts their lower back. If you've got sciatica, it really hits that sciatic nerve. So a nicer version is to bend your knees and then you tilt your pelvis up so the base of your spine is nice and flat, but it will make your chin stick up in the air. Then you have to just readjust your head and tuck your chin in. And then you don't want to leave your legs there because otherwise they'll keep flopping out. You bring them in so that your knees touch each other and then you let your hands relax down. But we're going to bring our hands into a hand gesture. So we're going to place our hands back on top of our chest. They're over our heart. I'm going to turn the lights out. And I want you to breathe. And again, I want you to count your breath. So as you breathe out, count 1, count 2. And every time a thought comes into your head or a noise catches your attention, I want you to go back to number 1. If you're religious, you might prefer to say a prayer. And again, every time something catches your attention, start the prayer again. Or you could say something like, if you're feeling really down, you could say, I feel excited, I feel happy. So whatever you're feeling, if it's a negative, try and say the opposite. That's how you're feeling. And say that on the 20 days. But choose one. Don't think, oh, I'll start counting. Oh, no, no, I'll say, oh, no, I'll say. Choose one, stick with it. And make sure that there's no tension in your jaw, that you're not gripping your jaw tightly together. Anything that your tongue sits at just between your teeth. That way, if you try to grip your jaw, you'll bite your tongue. Just check there's no tension in the shoulders. It's just kind of your shoulders squeeze as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Just try and let them go. Make sure you're not tensing your stomach muscles or that powering through. Let them relax. Let your feet feel nice and relaxed. Let the fingers in your hands. So that breath into the body through the nose. Feeling everything in the air. Down through the back of the throat. Feel the lungs on the front and the back. As you breathe out, passing through the nose. You feel your hand on your chest. Get stuck to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And then you're going to stretch your legs out, take your arms, wiggle again. And as you breathe in, stretch your fingers in one direction, stretch your toes in the other, and as you breathe out, just and let the body go. You're going to breathe in, stretch again, and again breathe out. And you bring your knees up to your chest, and you're taking them round in a circle. And then we're going to take them round in the opposite direction. And then you're going to roll over onto your side, and you're just staying here until I turn the lights on. Now I want you to, strange as it seems, I want you to ask yourself a question. How do I feel? And I want you to listen to anything your body's going to say. It'll tell you, it'll be like a twinge, or you'll get a feeling. Yeah, just, okay. Oh, no, that doesn't feel too right there. But listen to that answer. When you're ready, bring yourself up to the seat. And I'm going to show you how to get up out of the chair. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways. So bringing yourself up to seated. Now to get on back up off the floor, you choose the chair. Watch first. So you could place your hands in your elbow here, bring the one foot up, and you're pushing, and then you bring yourself onto the chair. Or if you can get onto your knees, you go to your knees, then you bring your hands here, you bring your one foot in, you push, and come up. There's a couple of different versions. So coming over with you. Always make sure it's on a safe surface, and that way you won't roll away. Now, you always need to know how to get off the floor. Because if something happened and you fell, you need to be able to get off the floor. And that's always a way of knowing. Grab a chair, have a chair by you. Put cushions, everything underneath, make sure you have to drag things off the settee to put under your knees to get you up. Go onto the knees, use your elbows and your hands to help you. So when you go, you get off and not skin. Yeah. People are breathing out, that day. Oh my God. Yeah. And from that, I just keep thinking I can't get yeah. And so it's just taking time. And if when we stop doing something, we kind of forget, especially when we start with fear. Fear is the worst thing. Yeah, a lot of stuff, and that's why yoga is quite fun, because there are things that I get to do that you'll think but once you know, once I get on that fear, then everything else gets a little bit lighter. And that goes for everything in life. Everything in life we do causes a little fear. It's like a weight. And it's more just the fact of getting up and down. Yeah. Just so the first yeah. Like your body says, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for that. I need that. Yeah. Oh my God. No worries. I'm here every week.